Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Move this. You sure the mic stand is not? That's right. That's better. Nitai pada kamala Koti chandra susitala Ye chayai jagata juraya Nitai pada Ye chayai jagata judaya Hino nite bine pai Radha Krishna pai dinai Jida kori daro nitaya pai Hino nite bine Jida kori daro nitaya Say sambandha nahi yaar Rita janma ke lotar Say pashu vado durachara Slower. Nitai na boli mukhe Majilo samsara suke Vidya kule ki kore bitara Ahankare nitahaya Ahankare matahaya Nitai pada pashariya Asatya re satya kori mani Nitaya charana, where am I? Nitaya karuna habe Braje Radha Krishna habe Daro Nitai Charana Dukani We went too fast fast again. Nitaya Charana Satya Tahara Sevaka Nitya Nitai Pada Sadakoro Asa Narottama Bodho Duki Nitai More Kora Suki Rako Ranga Charanera Pasa Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hari Rama, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Jaya Goranitai, 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 Jaya Goranitai. Jaya Nitai, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Nitai, Jai Shri Nitai. Jaya Nitai, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Shri Nitai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privajakacharya Asto Taratata Shri Srimad Nitya Leela Pravista Om His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj ISKCON Founder Acharya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Gauranitai Ki Jai Nityananda Balarama Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi Haribol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanandi Haribol. So Srila Prabhupada, he chanted this bhajan and gave very nice commentary, which makes up the purport here, which is rather lengthy. Today is Lord Nityananda's appearance day, January 31st, 1969. So we recommend that everybody listen to that. for the sake of time and as much qualitative, quantitative content as we can fit, I think we will not spend so much time reading the purport, but we can, as we did at Mangalarti, read the quick translations for each of these 4 verses. The lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are a shelter where one will get the soothing moonlight not only of one, but of millions of moons. If the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter of Lord Nityananda. Unless one, I think this is too loud now.
You don't need it loud with this mic. You need it loud on the mic.
Okay, but if
this mic is too loud, it's going to be bad for the mic.
Hare Krishna.
Everyone here can hear it.
Make it lower. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, lower, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. What do you think? I think it's too loud. I just want it so it could be here, and I don't want it too low that I have to have it like that. More like this. Hare Krishna, lower, Hare Krishna. Good. All right. What is that sound?
It's the sound of Sankirtan happening clearly.
Oh, that's vacuuming the floor?
No, it's the sound of Sankirtan happening clearly.
Is that what that is?
Because with that happening now, that means
if wants to have real peace, once you turn off the vacuum cleaner, he should take shelter of Lord Nityananda. Unless one takes shelter under the shade of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, it will be very difficult for him to approach Radha and Krishna. We will see later from the admission and in his own description of his admission, the confidential revelation upon him or mercy of Lord Nityananda upon him is so great and noteworthy that even though it is confidential, he is more or less obligated or forced to reveal it. And that makes up the conclusion of the epic 5th chapter of the Adi Leela, which is titled The Glories of Lord Nityananda, which illustrates what Narottam Das Thakur is saying here, teaching us. This shows how Prabhupada was asked one time, how do you know the difference between making an adjustment and changing a principle? The former being all right if it's done by the authorized acharya, whereas the latter could spell disaster or deviation, which it usually does, changing a principle. So here we see Narottam Das Thakur, who is appearing after Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and of course the associates of Lord Chaitanya, is following the same principle. That if one wants to actually approach Radha and Govinda, Radha and Krishna, he has to approach Lord Nityananda and get his mercy first. So that's a principle that can never be adjusted or changed. Anyone who has not established his relationship with Nityananda Prabhu, and Prabhupada's answer to that question was, that takes some intelligence. Is understood to have spoiled his valuable human birth. Such a human being is actually an uncontrollable animal. Because he never uttered the holy name of Nityananda, he has become merged into so-called material happiness. What can his useless material education do? So Prabhupada is saying that takes intelligence, and that intelligence comes from very seriously and sincerely over a perceivable long period of time. What is that? Um, we want to see in a devotee perceivable sadhana. That the intelligence ultimately to tell the difference between, summarize it into two categories, matter and spirit, that which is real from that which is unreal, that which is valuable from that which is unvaluable, that which is appropriate from that which is inappropriate, we can go on. That is awarded by the spiritual master upon the disciple who wants nothing except to serve and please the spiritual master. In other words, no ulterior motives. Anyabhilasita sunyam jnana karmati anavrita. That is the definition of pure devotional service. So all so-called education of acquiring knowledge, which doesn't bring one to this actual spiritual intelligence, is classified or titled or referred to here by Narottam Das Thakur as useless. Prabhupada's elaboration on the purport, you're birthed in a so-called aristocratic nation, your high education, your family aristocracy, these things cannot help you at the time of death. You have to leave all of that behind. Being maddened after false prestige and identification with the body, one is thinking, oh, who is Nityananda? What can he do for me? I don't care. We see this on a daily basis in very large, plentiful quantities. People walking by, they don't care. The result is that he is accepting something false to be truth. And as we will see, this is the glory of Lord Nityananda, particular or especially even greater than the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Of course, they're inseparable and they work together, but that in the case of Jagai and Madhai, it was only by Lord Nityananda's intervention in the same mood of true saintly persons to tolerate all injustice. So many people in this world, they are followers or worshipers of Jesus Christ, who remarkably, during his crucifixion said, "Forgive them, Lord, they know not what they do." In general, and even specifically for the so-called priests who condemned him to death, he's praying for their deliverance and welfare. So Lord Nityananda in the same way, and he appealed to Lord Chaitanya on behalf of Jagai and Madhai. The result is that they are accepting something false to be truth. If you actually want to approach the association of Radha and Krishna, you must first achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda. First and even last. Very confidential understanding, which is based on the foundation of Dasya Prema, of whom Lord Nityananda Balaram is the Prakash Vigraha, the first expansion of Lord Krishna. In a sense, he's Krishna expanding, knowing himself. That is Lord Balaram. So Lord Balaram, he wants to serve Lord Krishna in all the different rasas. And that is not exclusively possible in his Baladev Svarup. So to serve Krishna in the Madhurya Ras, he becomes the younger sister of Srimati Radharani, that is Ananga Manjari. And that Ananga Manjari in Lord Chaitanya's Leela, Krishna and all of his associates, they take on another, actually simultaneous dual identity. So that is Janavadevi. So this is just a little glimpse of how Lord Nityananda facilitates one's entrance into the Madhurya Ras, the worship of Radha and Krishna, which Narottam Das Thakur is stating here. When he is merciful toward you, then you will be able to approach Radha and Krishna. Therefore, you should firmly grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. So the instructions of Lord Nityananda, who is Adi Guru, Balaram is Adi Guru, he is the original spiritual master. And because we are in this world, the pure devotee is offered obeisances. Bhutale, who is very kindly on this earth planet, he's here. And his instructions of what to do, how to do, when to do, with whom to do, and all Srila Prabhupada addressed everything in all circumstances, what to do. This is non-different than supreme perfection. In other words, sadhana bhakti and fully perfected prema bhakti are one and the same thing. Narottam Das Thakur, he says that simply the practice stage is where things have not been perfectly purified or more to the point mature. Because if one is engaging in the cultivation, practice and another term, cultivation of devotional service, under the guidance of the expert pure devotee, it is uh, it is sure that one will achieve perfection. And Prabhupada would give a very interesting analogy that a girl becomes married, and if she wants to immediately have a child, that's not possible, because you should serve your husband and you should, etc., etc. And it is certain, because you're fulfilling those duties based on your dharma, the child will come. So that faith that because I'm engaged in the service of the Lord, there is no doubt that I will achieve the ultimate goal. And it is a very sensitive and subtle thing at the same time, because the pivotal foundational mood of all devotees is one of humility. Janadapi sunichena taroiva seheshnana amanina manina kirtaniya siddhari. When Kapila Dev is telling Mother Devahuti in the third canto, after describing the plight of the conditioned soul in this material world, in contrast to the devotee, who he takes to the other side of birth and death. Prabhupada writes in the purport in that section, the devotee from his side thinks that for my past mischievous misdeeds, I am fit to be sent to the lowest regions of hell. And is always very, very humble. But the Lord, without the devotee's knowledge, makes all arrangements to bring him back home, back to Godhead, after leaving this present material body. When the leper Vasudev was converted or was healed, his leprosy was cured, and he became like the most beautiful, elegant young man. How will I not become proud, my Lord? And his answer was to chant the holy name always, and always distribute and preach Krishna consciousness. So Bhutale, on this earth, the pure devotees are engaged in distributing Krishna consciousness. This will keep one humble and allow for the miracle of simultaneous not considering oneself as something very special, and at the same time being in the most exalted position. Prabhupada said, as soon as the preaching stops, everything just falls apart. What is it? Vigraha, and what is the term? Galagraha? A burden. If that enthusiasm to give love of Godhead to others somehow or another wanes or stops, then we'll think our spiritual master has given us a terrible burden. And we'll be, instead of being thankful, we will become resentful. So the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda is the full manifestation of all enthusiasm in relationship to Krishna and his pure devotees, which is based on Ananda Mudi Vardhanam, ever increasing ecstasy and happiness, newer and newer variegated pleasure at every moment. The non-devotees, they'll make some blockbuster movie with a budget of like upwards of $100 million, you know, and it's like all the rage and people go see it. And okay, say to somebody, you want to go see that? I already saw that. They spend a huge amount of money. At best, people could see it once, twice, or maybe once a year, you know, but then where is the taste? Where? So the knowledge of spiritual happiness is so much greater than any type of happiness in this material world. Even the topmost happiness where hundreds of millions of dollars are spent on it. So the devotee has this knowledge, which is, in a sense, comparative to spending so much money, priceless. The lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are not illusion. They are a fact. And one who engages, and Prabhupada says in the full purport, the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are eternal. And one who engages in the trance and the loving service of Lord Nityananda also becomes eternal. So always try to catch the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. This Narottam Das Thakur is very unhappy. Therefore, I'm praying to you, Lord Nityananda, to make me happy. Please keep me in a corner of your lotus feet. So I'd like to look at some other songs or prayers to Lord Nityananda. Here is Vrindavan Das Thakur, the author of Chaitanya Bhagavat, and he has compiled the Nityananda Astakam, 8 prayers glorifying Lord Nityananda. If you look this up online, YouTube or whatever, you'll see our Dravida Das making a very wonderful reading of this with, what is that? Boom, boom, Veena playing in the background. I worship Lord Nityananda, the limitless root of the tree of devotional service, who is pure and as splendid as the autumn moon, who walks as gracefully as a majestic elephant, who is maddened with pure love of Krishna, who is the absolute truth, who smiles, whose eyes are always rolling, who holds a staff in his hand and who breaks the power of the age of Kali. I worship Lord Nityananda, the limitless root of the tree of devotional service, who is the abode of the mellows of devotional service, to whom no one can be compared, who is his devotees' life's treasure, who is the Lord of Janava Devi and Vashuddha Devi. Lord Nityananda had two wives mentioned here. We've already described Janava Devi and Vashuddha Devi, who both think him more dear than life. It was always man with pure love of Krishna, in whom the unintelligent non-devotees cannot understand, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So for time, we won't read them all, or we'll try to shorten. Lord Nityananda is very dear to the son of Sachi Devi, who is worshipped by the entire universe, and who by chanting the name of Lord Hari mercifully rescues the souls drowning in the age of Kali and crushes the pride of the ocean of repeated birth and death. Uh, Lord Nityananda went home to home with his raised arms, saying, "O brother, if you will please constantly chant the holy name of Lord Hari. If you do this, you will become free from the ocean of repeated birth and death. Please give me the gift of your liberation." He is the Agastya Muni, forcibly swallowing the ocean of repeated birth and death, with a rising full moon expanding the ocean of the saintly devotees' welfare, and who is a blazing sun extinguishing the darkness that is the community of the demons. His smiling glance at once drives away all the bereavements of the world, and his very words enliven the auspicious creepers of devotion by expanding their leaves. Taking shelter of his lotus feet invokes transcendental love of God at once. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh, what happened here? Oh, I see what happened. This book has a skip in it. We have a technical difficulty here that this book, only some of the pages are missing. Anyway, not to be daunted, we will now look at this is a song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, um, Sri Nagar Kirtan, Nadia Gojruma Nityananda Mahajan. In the land of Nadia, on the island of Gojruma, the magnanimous Lord Nityananda has opened up the marketplace of the holy name, meant for the deliverance of the fallen souls. O men of faith, O men of faith, by the order of Lord Gauranga, O brothers, I beg this one request. Chant Krishna, worship Krishna, and follow Krishna's instructions. Being careful to remain free of offenses, just take the holy name of Krishna. Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, and Krishna is the treasure of your life. Giving up all improper behavior, carry on your worldly duties only in relation to Krishna, the showing of compassion to all fallen souls by loudly chanting the holy name of Krishna is the essence of all forms of religion. Krishnara samsara korachadi anchar, jiva doya Krishna nam sarva dharma sar. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written Baro Sukher Kabor Gai, also known as Dalalera Gita, the Song of the Broker. Sri Nityananda is distributing the holy names of Sri Krishna at the price of one's faith. If he sees anybody chanting and crying for the name of Mahaprabhu, then that person gets all mercy from him. He distributes the teachings of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to everyone. I am singing news of great happy tidings. Lord Nityananda himself has opened a marketplace of the holy name in Sarabi Kunj. He is selling the pure holy name in that marketplace for the price of only one's faith. Lord Nityananda, seeing all the devotees becoming attracted, is selling them the holy name after bargaining with them. Oh, brother, if you want the holy name, then come with me. We must go to that great soul, Nityananda. You will get the name of Krishna. I will take my commission, and all of our desires will be fulfilled. Lord Nityananda is greatly merciful. Taking only one's faith, he gives the highest ecstasy. If he sees only once tears in the eyes while chanting the name of Gora, then he gives all facilities to that person. He gives the pure teachings of Krishna to everyone, not caring for their birth, wealth, knowledge, or strength. Now, giving up the illusory snare of Maya, either remain in household life or in the forest as a sannyasi, for no more troubles remain. There is no more fear of the age of Kali. The merciful Lord Nityananda gives the holy name even to the Chandalas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls out, except for the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, there is no other shelter. So in the Adi Lila chapter 12, Pastimes of the Lord in his youth, there is a description of the meeting, the first meeting of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, and a little biographical information in a purport by Srila Prabhupada. At the house of Srivas Thakur, Nityananda Prabhu appeared, and when he met Lord Chaitanya, he got the opportunity to see him in his six-armed form. So this is the house of Srivas Thakur, and this is when the Lord exhibited the Mahaprakash. He remained in ecstatic position for 21 hours. So the form of Sadbhuj, the six-armed Lord Gaura Sundar, is a representation of three incarnations. Lord Ramachandra, symbolized by bow and arrow, the form of Lord Sri Krishna, symbolized by a stick and flute, like those generally held by a cowherd boy, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is symbolized by a sannyas danda and kamandalu, or water pot. Sri Nityananda Prabhu was born in the village of Ekachakra, in the district of Birbhum, as the son of Padmavati and Adai Pandit. In his childhood, he played like Balaram. When he was growing up, a sannyasi came to the house of Adai Pandit, begging to have the Pandit's son as his brahmachari assistant. Adai Pandit immediately agreed and delivered his son to him, although the separation was greatly shocking, so much so that Adai lost his life after the separation. Nityananda Prabhu traveled on many pilgrimages with the sannyasi. It is said that for many days he lived at Mathura with him. And at that time, he heard that about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in Navadvip. Therefore, he came down to Bengal to see the Lord. When Lord Nityananda came to Navadvip, he was a guest at the house of Nandanacharya. Understanding that Nityananda Prabhu had arrived, Lord Chaitanya sent his devotees to him, and thus there was a meeting between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. This is a very beautiful verse and purport, which opens the 16th chapter of the Adi Leela. Those who have read the Chaitanya Charitamrita know that there are very beautiful opening verses for every chapter, uh, and here is one. I worship Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose nectarian mercy flows like a great river, inundating the entire universe. Just as a river flows downstream, Lord Chaitanya especially extends himself to the fallen. So Prabhupada's purport is very nice, and he shows that we, as his disciples in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, are uh, representing Lord Chaitanya and continuing his uh, distribution of mercy. Narottam Das Thakur has sung Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kora More. He prays for Lord Chaitanya's mercy because he is the mercy incarnation, having appeared especially to claim the fallen souls. The more fallen one is, the greater one's claim to the favor of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One must only be very sincere and serious. Despite being contaminated by all the bad qualities of this Kali Yuga, if one surrenders unto the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord will surely and certainly deliver him. The best example is Jagai and Madhai. In this age of Kali, practically everyone is like Jagai and Madhai, but the Sankirtan movement, inaugurated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is still flowing like a river, inundating the entire world, and thus the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is successfully claiming all fallen souls to free them from contamination. The fifth chapter of the Adi Leela, the glories of Lord Nityananda, have very um, thorough and detailed descriptions of how Lord Nityananda is Lord Balaram and the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how uh, he is in charge of the Vaikuntha planets, and how great his personality is. Beyond the limitation of this material world is the spiritual sky Paravyon, which has many spiritual planets, the supreme of which is called Krishna Loka. Krishna Loka, the abode of Krishna, has three divisions, which are known as Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokula. In that abode, the personality of Godhead expands himself into four plenary portions: Krishna, Balaram, Pradyumna, the transcendental Cupid, and Aniruddha. They are known as the original quadruple forms. In Krishna Loka is a transcendental place known as Swetadweep or Vrindavan. Below Krishna Loka, in the spiritual sky, are the Vaikuntha planets. On each Vaikuntha planet, a four-handed Narayan, expanded from the first quadruple manifestation, is present. The personality of Godhead, known as Sri Balaram in Krishna Loka, is the original Sankarshan, attracting deity, and from this Sankarshan expands another Sankarshan called Maha Sankarshan, who resides in one of the Vaikuntha planets. By his internal potency, Mahasankarshan maintains the transcendental existence of all the planets in the spiritual sky, where all the living beings are eternally liberated souls. The influence of the material energy is conspicuous there by its absence. On those planets, the second quadruple manifestation is present. Outside of the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal manifestation of Sri Krishna, which is known as the Brahmaloka. On the other side of the Brahmaloka is the spiritual Karna Samudra or causal ocean. The material energy exists on the other side of the causal ocean without touching it. In the causal ocean is Mahavishnu, the original Purusha expansion from Sankarshan. This Mahavishnu places his glance over the material energy, and by a reflection of his transcendental body, he amalgamates himself within the material elements. As the source of the material elements, the material energy is known as pradhan, and as the source of the manifestations of the material energy, it is known as maya. But material nature is inert in that she has no independent power to do anything. She is empowered to make the cosmic manifestation by the glance of Mahavishnu. Therefore, the material energy is not the original cause of the material manifestation. Rather, the transcendental glance of Mahavishnu over the material nature produces that cosmic manifestation. Mahavishnu again enters every universe as the reservoir of all living entities, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. From Garbhodakshayi Vishnu expands Kshirodakshayi Vishnu, the supersoul of every living entity. Garbhodakshayi Vishnu also has his own Vaikuntha planet in every universe, where he lives as the supersoul or supreme controller of the universe. Garbhodakshayi Vishnu reclines in the midst of the watery portion of the universe and generates the first living creature of the universe, Rama. The imaginary universal form is a partial manifestation of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. In the Vaikuntha planet, in every universe, is an ocean of milk, and within that ocean is an island called Swetadweep, where Lord Vishnu lies. Therefore, this chapter describes two Swetadweeps, one in the abode of Krishna and the other in the ocean of milk. In every universe, the Swetadweep in the abode of Krishna is identical with Vrindavan Dham, which is the place where Krishna appears to display his loving pastimes. In the Swetadweep within every universe is a Sesha form of Godhead who serves Vishnu by assuming the form of his umbrella, slippers, couch, pillow, garments, residence, sacred thread, throne, and so on. Lord Baladev in Krishna Loka is Nityananda Prabhu. Therefore, Nityananda Prabhu is the original Sankarshan and Maha Sankarshan, and his expansions as the Purushas in the universes are plenary expansions of Nityananda Prabhu. So, who here has read this fifth chapter of the Adi Leela in its entirety? So, after describing what was the chapter, this was the chapter summary, the great glory of Lord Nityananda in full detail, Kaviraj Goswami, please listen to another glory of his mercy. He made a fallen living entity climb to the highest limit. To disclose it is not proper, for it should be kept as confidential as the Vedas. Yet I shall speak of it to make his mercy known to all. O Lord Nityananda, I write of your mercy out of great exultation. Please forgive me for my offenses. Lord Nityananda Prabhu had a servant named Minikatan Ramdas, was a reservoir of love. At my house there was Sankirtan day and night, and therefore he visited there, having been invited. Absorbed in emotional love, he sat in my courtyard, and all the Vaishnavas bowed down at his lotus feet. When someone saw the eyes of Menakatan Ramdas, tears would automatically flow from his own eyes. For a constant shower of tears flow from the eyes of Menakatan Ramdas. This is the effect of a pure devotee, that they immediately bring forth ecstatic symptoms from others. Whenever he shouted aloud the name Nityananda, the people around him were filled with great wonder and astonishment. One respectable Brahmin named Sri Gunarva Mishra, Gunarnava Mishra, was serving the deity. When Minakatam Ramdas was seated in the yard, the Brahmin did not offer him respect. Seeing this, Ramdas became angry and spoke. Here I find the second Roma Harshana Sutta who did not stand to show honor when he saw Lord Balaram. After saying this, he danced and sang to his heart's content, but the Brahmin did not become angry, for he was then serving Lord Krishna. This is a principle that you can read in the Nectar of Devotion, that even one is engaged in serving the deity, if uh, an exalted devotee comes, you can stop your worship to receive him. Not only you can, but you should. Minakatam Ramdas was a great devotee of Lord Nityananda, as is revealed in other places. He's an incarnation of one of the 12 principal cowherd boyfriends of Lord Balaram. When he entered the house of Krishnadas Kaviraj, Guna Narva Mishra, the priest who was worshiping the deity installed in his house, did not receive him very well. The behavior of Gunarva Mishra indicated that he had no great respect for Lord Nityananda, and this idea was not at all palatable to Minakatam Ramdas. For this reason, the mentality of Minakatam Ramdas is never depreciated by devotees. At the end of the festival, Menakatan Ramdas went away, offering his blessings to everyone. At that time, he had some controversy with my brother. My brother had firm faith in Lord Chaitanya, but only a dim glimmer of faith in Lord Nityananda. Knowing this, Sri Ramdas felt unhappy in his mind. I then rebuked my brother. These two brothers, I told him, are like one body. They are identical manifestations. If you do not believe in Lord Nityananda, you will fall down. If you have faith in one but disrespect the other, your logic is like the logic of accepting half a hen. I'll take the part that lays the eggs, but I don't want the front part that I have to feed. It costs too much money. It would be better to be an atheist by slighting both brothers than a hypocrite by believing in one and in slighting the other. Wow. Better to be an atheist and not believe in either than to accept one and not believe in the other. Thus, Sri Ramdas broke his flute in anger and went away. And at that time, my brother fell down. I have thus described the power of the servants of Lord Nityananda. Now I shall describe another characteristic of his mercy. So his telling of what happened sets the stage for this. That night, Lord Nityananda appeared to me in a dream because of my good quality in chastising my brother. In the village of Jamatpur, which is near Naihati, Lord Nityananda appeared to me in a dream. And for pilgrimage aficionados, there are details on how to get there and even what railway line to take. I fell at his feet, offering my obeisances, and then he placed his own lotus feet upon my head. Arise, get up, he told me again and again. Upon arising, I was greatly astonished to see his beauty. He had a glossy, blackish complexion, and his tall, strong, heroic stature made him seem like Cupid himself. He had beautifully formed hands, arms, and legs, and eyes like lotus flowers. He wore a silk cloth with a silk turban on his head. So ultimately, pure, eternally liberated devotees, they are the most qualified to have the most beautiful features. There's no mundane vanity, ego, pride, and ulterior motives lurking beneath. Pure on the inside, pure on the outside. He wore golden earrings on his ears and golden armlets and bangles. He wore tinkling anklets on his feet and a garland of flowers around his neck. And more description. His face was more beautiful than millions upon millions of moons, and his teeth were like pomegranate seeds because of his chewing betel. His devotees, dressed like cowherd boys, surrounded his feet like so many bees and also chanted, Krishna, Krishna, absorbed in ecstatic love. Thus I saw such opulence of Lord Nityananda Swarup. His wonderful form, qualities, and pastimes are all transcendental. I was overwhelmed with transcendental ecstasy, not knowing anything else. Then Lord Nityananda smiled and spoke to me as follows. Oh, my dear Krishna Das, do not be afraid. Go to Vrindavan, for there you will attain all things. After saying this, he directed me toward Vrindavan by waving his hand. He then disappeared with his associates. I fainted and fell to the ground. My dream broke, and when I regained consciousness, I saw that the morning had come. I thought about what I had seen and heard and concluded that the Lord had ordered me to proceed to Vrindavan at once. And of course, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, amongst so many of his attributes and accomplishments, became the illustrious Shiksha disciple of Srila Raghunath Das Thakur. And upon the order of Rupa and Sanatan, who intervened in Raghunath Das Goswami's attempted suicide, made him their, brother. Rupa and Sanatan are brothers, but brother from another mother, we say, made him their real brother. And one of the services that they gave Raghunath Das Goswami to do every day was to discourse for at least 3 hours a day on the holy attributes of Lord Chaitanya. He was the servant of the private secretary of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar, and knew all about Lord Chaitanya's internal and external movements, especially in the last Antya Lila, the last period of his life, when Lord Chaitanya especially taught the most confidential, demonstrated the highest manifestation of love of God, taught the highest principles of love and separation. Jagannath Puri. So, Krishna, and by that hearing, we have the Chaitanya Charitamrita in our hands, and especially because the devotees of Vrindavan knew how important it was to have not only a biographical description of the last pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, but the philosophical foundational siddhanta of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is so masterfully and perfectly presented by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So much so that such an authorized personality, Srila Prabhupada has described his own spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, who we will celebrate his 151st appearance day, coming very soon, on the 4th day of the next month. So that would be, I believe, on the 16th, if my guessing is correct, maybe the 17th. Said that it was his favorite book, and in his later and towards the end of his life, when he was going deeper and deeper into internal ecstasy, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he simply liked to relish the Chaitanya Charitamrita. That very second I started for Vrindavan, and by his mercy I reached there in great happiness. All glory to Lord Nityananda Balaram, by whose mercy I have attained shelter in the transcendental abode of Vrindavan. All glory to the merciful Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained shelter at the lotus feet of Sri, Rupa, and Sanatan. So we were saying the beginning of every chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, how is every chapter concluded? Begging at the lotus feet of Sri, Rupa, and Raghunath, Rupa Raghunath, Sanatan Goswami, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishnadas Kaviraj, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. By his mercy, I have attained the shelter of that great personality, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and by his mercy, I have found the refuge of Sri Swarup Damodar. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, if I'm correct, never personally met or physically met Swarup Damodar Goswami. But here he's saying how he got, not just met him, but got the refuge, the shelter of Swarup Damodar through Raghunath Das Goswami. We should be very broad-minded and big thinkers to understand the incredible facility of personalism in Guru Parampara. I forget the devotee, I think is in Prabhupada Memories. He was asking Prabhupada an intricate question, how we can defeat the scientists and prove the actual scientific creation, how we could prove creation spiritually. And Prabhupada's answer was like very emphatic, Guru Parampara. Next time I come across it, I'll mark it and I can speak it again in more exacting detail. Anyone desiring to become expert in the service of Sri Radha and Krishna should always aspire to be under the guidance of Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanat Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami. And to come under the protection of the Goswamis, one must get the mercy and grace of Nityananda Prabhu. What is that other song by Narottam Das Thakur? Gauranga bolete habe pulaka shariyada. Keep singing, keep singing. Samsara basana. Lalas, my partner. Yes. When will Lord Nityananda bestow his causeless mercy upon me so that my desire for material enjoyment will become very insignificant? When will that day come? No. We are all asking, Our Kabai Nitai Chan Karuna Haibe. We are all asking about the mercy of Lord Nityananda. We all should be. Are we? Yes, we are all asking about the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Actually, that is the only question for everybody in the Bhagavatam. Questions and answers. The birds and beasts. Where is food? The businessmen in the marketplace. The lawyers in the courthouse. The politicians and the stealing all the money. But the only real question is the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Nityananda is said to be the original spiritual master. So we have to approach Lord Gauranga, Lord Chaitanya, through the mercy of Lord Nityananda. What is the symptom of a person who has achieved the causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda? Narottam Das Thakur says that the symptom of one who has actually received the causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda is that he has no more material desire. What is the symptom of one who has achieved the mercy of Lord Nityananda? Is that he has no more material desire. No more material desire. No. That's right. Ar kabai nitai chan karuna habe samsara sapasana more kabe tucha habe. Means desire for material enjoyment. And Narottam Das wonders when it will become very insignificant. To come under the protection of the Goswamis, one must get the mercy and grace of Nityananda Prabhu. The author has tried to explain this fact in these verses. By the mercy of Sanatana Goswami, I have learned the final conclusions of devotional service. By the grace of Sri Rupa Goswami, I have tasted the highest nectar of devotional service. In this purport, Prabhupada describes the Brihad Bhagavatamritam. And he says, anyone who wants to know about the subject matter of devotees, devotional service, and Krishna must read this book. So Srila Prabhupada's disciples took this very seriously, and we have the most wonderful authorized Brihad Bhagavatamrita. I believe it's in 3 volumes or 2? 3 volumes. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami has described Sanatana Goswami in his prayer as a conclusion of Vilapa Kusha Manjali, which is a very, very exalted, elevated, prayerful yearning of Raghunath Das Goswami in his original identity as the maidservant of Srimati Radharani to be engaged exclusively in her service. Vairagya Yug Bhakti Rasam Prayatnar Apayam Mam Anubishpamarandam Kripambudirya Paraduka Duki Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. I was unwilling to drink the nectar of devotional service, the zest of renunciation. Again, renunciation for the Vaishnava devotee of Krishna is he gives up the poison of material life and existence and accepts the pure nectar and supreme happiness of devotional service. That is what the impersonalists are missing. And that's what Srila Prabhupada has come to save us from. Nirvishesha, Sunyavadi, Paskita Deshatarane. But Sanatana Goswami, out of its causeless mercy, made me drink, even though I was otherwise unable to do so. Therefore, he is an ocean of mercy. He is very much compassionate to fallen souls like me. Therefore, it is my duty to offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. When Srila Prabhupada's dear godbrother, whom they were very friendly, what to speak of during their spiritual master's presence on this planet, but arguably more importantly afterwards when things were very difficult. Bhakti Pragna Keshava Maharaj, who ultimately, as Srila Prabhupada describes, my spiritual master, through this godbrother, forced me, even though I was unwilling, to accept the sannyas order of life. And when Bhakti Pragna Maharaj passed away in October of 1968, Srila Prabhupada was with his disciples in Seattle. You can look this up on the festival, in the all audio of Prabhupada festivals, disappearance of Bhakti Pragna Maharaj. And Prabhupada is saying that he has done a great kindness upon me, my spiritual master, through this godbrother. So he is no more. He has entered into Krishna's abode. So he took this prayer of Raghunath Das Goswami to Sanatana Goswami and made it his prayer, his homage to his sannyas guru, his godbrother. All glory to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained Sri Radha Govinda. I am more sinful than Jagai and Madai, and even lower than the worms in the stool. Anyone who hears my name loses the results of his pious activities. We think if someone hears my name, they will be overcome with, so much respect and, because I've done so much and I'm so great and everyone should notice me and I should be in the, like the newsletter or, the poster advertising this Kirtan festival or whatever it is, me. But here, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the most exalted personality, he's honestly feeling that anyone who hears his name will lose the results of his pious activities. And anyone who utters my name becomes sinful. It's beyond understanding, the depth of this humility. Who in this world but Nityananda could show his mercy to such an abominable person as me? Because he is intoxicated by ecstatic love and is an incarnation of mercy, he does not distinguish between the good and the bad. He delivers all those who fall down before him. Therefore, he has delivered such a sinful and fallen person as me. Then he goes on to describe his coming to Vrindavan and the incredible mercy that he got. How are we all doing? 9:21. Should I wrap it up or should we keep going? Should I set 9:30 as a cutoff point? Yes, no? Okay. I am not fit to speak all these confidential words about my visiting Lord Madan Gopal and Lord Govinda. His Madan Gopal deity is very special. Advaita Acharya, he visited Vrindavan quite a number of years earlier, and he discovered the Madan Gopal deity is a place called Advaitabad, which is, what is the most, it's on the lane from the Parikram path to, I think they maybe expanded the road for they got a parking lot to go to Bunky Bihari, but it's near the Sanatana Goswami's Madan Mohan temple, right? So Madan Gopal. So Lord Madan Gopal, the chief deity of Vrindavan, is the enjoyer of the rasa dance and is directly the son of the king of Braja. He enjoys the rasa dance with Srimati Radharani, Sri Lalita, and others. He manifests himself as the Cupid of Cupids. Wearing yellow garments and decorated with a flower garland, Lord Krishna, appearing among the gopis with his smiling lotus face, looked directly like the charmer of the heart of Cupid. So this is 10th canto, 32nd chapter, Krishna reappearing to the gopis, text number 2. With Radha and Lalita serving him on his two sides, he attracts the hearts of all by his own sweetness. The mercy of Lord Nityananda showed me Sri Madan Mohan and gave Sri Madan Mohan as my Lord and Master. He granted to one as low as me the sight of Lord Govinda. Words cannot describe this, nor is it fit to be disclosed. So we were going out rescuing people from the Vaitarani River, from the Samsara Dava Nalalita Loka, and we are inviting them to get the mercy of Lord Govinda. There's very deep and profound meaning in what we are doing. Never take it for granted. He granted to one as low as me the sight of Lord Govinda. Words cannot describe this, nor is it fit to be disclosed. On an altar made of gems in the principal temple of Vrindavan, amidst the forest of desire trees, Lord Govinda, the son of the king of Braja, sits upon a throne of gems and manifests his full glory and sweetness, thus enchanting the entire world. I mean, this is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We all know this. My dear friend, if you are indeed attached to your worldly friends, do not look at the smiling face of Lord Govinda as he stands on the bank of the Yamuna at Keshigat, casting sidelong glances. He places his flute to his lips, which seems like newly blossomed twigs. His transcendental body, bending in three places, appears very bright in the moonlight. Without a doubt, he is directly the son of the king of Braja. Only a fool considers him a statue. For that offense, he cannot be liberated. Rather, he will fall into a terrible hellish condition. What more should I say? Therefore, who can describe the mercy of the lotus feet of him, Lord Nityananda, by whom I have attained the shelter of this Lord Govinda? All the groups of Vaishnavas who live in Vrindavan are absorbed in chanting the all auspicious name of Krishna. When Ramananda Roy was asked by Lord Chaitanya, who is the Vaishnava, or how can you tell who is the Vaishnava? Simply upon seeing the Vaishnava, you immediately want to chant Hare Krishna. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are their life and soul. They do not know anything but devotional service to Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. The dust and shade of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas have been granted to this fallen soul by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda said in Vrindavan, all things are possible. Here I've explained his brief statement in detail. I have attained all this by coming to Vrindavan, and this was made possible by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. I have described my own story without reservation. The attributes of Lord Nityananda, making me like a madman, forced me to write these things. The glories of Lord Nityananda's transcendental attributes are unfathomable. Even Lord Sesha, with his thousands of mouths, cannot find their limit. I believe it's in the later chapter 8, where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami elaborates even more how he was given the order to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita through the intense desire and blessings of all the Vaishnavas and the extraordinary sign of Lord Madan Mohan by his flower garland coming and falling upon him when he paid his obeisances. Have we ever seen Radha Govinda's flower garland fall off them to someone paying obeisance? I've never seen.
No flowers.
Well, the Pajari might. Okay. And I just touch on Raghunath Das Goswami. He was the son of very wealthy father and his uncle, his father's brother, Govardhan and Hiranya Majumdar. And he tried, and he became like a madman wanting to join Lord Chaitanya. Parents, the forerunner to deprogramming, but kidnapping, you know. Like, and how am I going to get free? And you know, the physical, you know, having watchmen and bodyguards and you know everything. Um, Symptomatic or symbolic of our material desires holding us back. So he thought in his, I've tried many times and I could not get free. Then he considered something in his mind. And what was that consideration? I must get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. So Lord Nityananda happened to be nearby, Panihati, and Lord Nityananda, he ordered him to make a Sankirtan festival, chipped rice and yogurt festival. Eat all my associates chipped rice and yogurt. And so great was that festival that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared there, not directly, but spiritually, and only the most confidential, elevated personalities could see what was happening. The festival was a great success, and afterwards, Lord Nityananda was so pleased that he gave Raghunath Das Goswami the great blessing, which we can actually, I'll read a few verses and we'll wrap it up. So he's appealing to Lord Nityananda. I am the lowest of men, the most sinful, fallen and condemned. Nevertheless, I desire to attain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like a dwarf who wants to catch the moon. I've tried my best many times, but I have never been successful. Every time I tried to go away and give up my home relationships, my father and mother unfortunately kept me bound. No one can attain the shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without your mercy. But if you are merciful, even the lowest of men can attain shelter at his lotus feet. Although I am unfit and greatly afraid to submit this plea, I nevertheless request you, sir, to be especially merciful toward me by granting me shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Placing your feet on my head, give me the benediction that I may achieve the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without difficulty. I pray for this benediction. After hearing this appeal, Lord Nityananda smiled and told all the devotees, Raghunath Das's standard of material happiness is equal to that of Indra, the king of heaven. Because of the mercy bestowed upon him by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunath Das, although situated in such material happiness, does not like it at all. Therefore, let every one of you be merciful toward him and give him the benediction that he may very soon attain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One who experiences the fragrance of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna does not value even the standard of happiness available in Brahma Loka, the topmost planet, and what to speak of heavenly planets. And this beautiful glorification of whom India is originally named Bart. I think unofficial government, is it been renamed? Bart? Yes? Come on, you're from India, you should know. Yes, no? Prayagraj is no longer Allahabad, it's Prayagraj. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is offered sublime poetic prayers by those attaining his favor. Thus, he is known as Uttama Shloka. Being very eager to gain the association of Lord Krishna, King Bart, although in the prime of youth, gave up his very attractive wife, affectionate children, most beloved friends, and opulent kingdom, exactly as one gives up stool after excreting it. Then Lord Nityananda Prabhu called Raghunath Das near him, placed his lotus feet upon Raghunath Das's head, and began to speak. My dear Raghunath Das, he said, since you arranged the feast on the bank of the Ganges, since you engaged in all of this Sankirtan, we want a certificate from Krishna, Prabhupada said on the Commonwealth Pier in Boston in May of 1968, from Krishna that this man has done something for me. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here just to show you his mercy. By his causeless mercy, he ate the chipped rice and milk. Then, after seeing the dancing of the devotees at night, he took his supper. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaur Hari, came here personally to deliver you. Now rest assured that all impediments meant for your bondage are gone. From him, ecstatic prema emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. Vinashyati. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda is now predicting what will happen. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will accept you and place you under the charge of his secretary, Swarup Damodar. You will thus become one of the most confidential internal servants and will attain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Being assured of all this, return to your own home. Very soon, without impediments, you will attain shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Nityananda had Raghunath Das blessed by all the devotees, and Raghunath Das offered his respects at their lotus feet. So then everything that Lord Nityananda predicted came to pass, even the practical that the night watchman fell asleep and he had the opportunity to run and nobody followed him and he was welcomed in Jagannath Puri, and step by step he increased his renunciation and was admitted into more and more confidential service to Lord Chaitanya through the instructions of Swarup Damodar, so much so that Raghunath Das Goswami was given, Lord Chaitanya gave him his personal Govardhan Shila to worship. The only devotee who was blessed in that way. Lord Nityananda Balarama ki jai, Sri Nityananda Trayodasi ki jai, Shri Radha Govinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.